Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. We're back again with another video. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Breaking news. You know, earlier last night, I believe, or late in the morning, I went live and I talked about how Iran is going to pretty much strike the U.S. and it's going to be grounds for the U.S. to deploy more military action to take out and wipe out Iran. And now everything seems to have come to pass, exactly as I stated. This is not a surprise, guys, to what we're seeing. This is how the United States play their military war games. They involve themselves into other people's business. They involve themselves into other people's homelands, and then they attack. And then what happened is they expect for Iran not to retaliate. Like, look, guys, if you're in Iran and the United States attack your land, you have every right to launch your attacks. But now, what I told you guys yesterday is that Iran is going to be blamed for something they may have not done. Now, when it comes to all of these war games, there's a lot of things that I just don't believe, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of things that's happening right now that, you know, it's affecting the people. It's affecting everyone. Hold on, guys. Let me make some adjustments. I don't think that you can hear me. I don't know. Can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm not sure if you guys can even hear me. I had to make some adjustments, but I don't think the audio was on. I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear me the whole time. But anyway, guys, just in case you couldn't hear me, let me just kind of start that over. We're talking about some breaking news of Iran launches an attack on U.S. Military bases. And in my opinion, this news that is coming out is kind of coincidental that I talked about this yesterday, or at least in my last stream. I warned you guys that these attacks are going to come. And if I can kind of replay exactly what I said earlier, I don't know if the audio was good, but Iran is going to be blamed for certain attacks, right? And that's going to give the United States justification to send more bombs, deploy more weapons to take them out, because the goal is to wipe them out, because the United States made a deal with Israel. So they're going to be launching more attacks. This is the justification now. You see what I mean? So let's take a look at this particular news brief. Go to the tape and find out exactly what's going on here. Let's listen to this news report.
To breaking news here this morning, Iran has reportedly launched a retaliatory attack on a U.S. airbase in Qatar. Meanwhile, son of the former Shah of Iran says he's ready to take over should Iran's Islamic regime collapse following the U.S. airstrikes on 3 of its nuclear facilities. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkeesian in our newsroom now with the latest developments. Jacqueline, good morning.
Hi, Jess. Good morning to you as well. Yes, we're just getting information about what happened. Missiles were seen over Qatar as Iran targets U.S. forces. However, there is no word yet the extent of the damage, as this information is just coming in. Meanwhile, Reza Pahlavi, the former son or the Shah of Iran, says he's not seeking political power, but rather helping the great nation navigate towards stability, freedom, and justice.
This regime is defeated, teetering on the edge of collapse, and must not be allowed to continue. I am here today to submit myself to my compatriots, to lead them down this road of peace and democratic transition. This is our Berlin Wall moment.
Meanwhile, Russia is showing its support for Iran. President Vladimir Putin condemning the attacks as he meets with the foreign minister in Moscow. Putin is also calling out Israel for its actions against Iran, saying, quote, Russia today is on the right side of history and international law. As the conflict between Israel and Iran enters its 11th day, both countries have continued to trade strikes. Earlier today, Israel hit government targets in Tehran in a series of strikes that followed missiles and drones fired by Iran at Israel. This comes in the wake of the Trump administration's massive strikes on 3 of their nuclear sites.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
The president and his administration are calling it Operation Midnight Hammer. It involves 7 B-2 stealth bombers that flew overnight completely undetected using never-before-deployed bunker-busting bombs. The aircrafts took off from an Air Force base in Missouri, and this is video showing the moments they returned yesterday. President Trump thanking the pilots for a job well done. Vice President J.D. Vance stressed Sunday while on Meet the Press that there is still a chance for Iran to engage in talks about its future, saying the attacks created an environment for a reset.
We have to step back a little bit, Kristen, and remind ourselves that we negotiated aggressively with the Iranians to try to find a peaceful settlement to this conflict. It was only when the president decided that the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith that he took this action. Yeah. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually think it provides an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide not to be a threat to its neighbors, not to be a threat to the United States. And if they're willing to do that, the United States is all ears.
As of now, there's been no word yet from Iran's supreme leader, but Iranian military officials and members of parliament are vowing the U.S. will pay a price for its strikes, and we're seeing that now. Tehran also denounced the U.S. and Israel during an emergency UN Security Council meeting. We did hear several hours ago that President Trump is scheduled to meet with the national security team right now in the Oval Office. This comes as major U.S. cities like New York and Los Angeles stepping up security concerns over what Iran might do next. But once again, just getting word, Iran has attacked American forces stationed at the air base in Qatar. We'll have much more on this coming up. Reporting now from the newsroom, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, KTLA 5 News.
Notice, ladies and gentlemen, they mentioned New York, they mentioned Los Angeles. Didn't I tell you guys that there's rumors that they are planning to launch attacks in these particular cities? Didn't I tell you that? And now you're hearing it right on the news. Let me go ahead and play that back a little bit here. Let me see if we could get that ending portion. Let me see.
Security team right now in the Oval Office. This comes as major U.S. cities like New York and Los Angeles stepping up security concerns over what Iran might do next. But once again, just...
Do you see that? They're stepping up security based on what they feel Iran will do next. Now, again, guys, I'm trying to give you the playbook of what's going on. Iran is not actually doing anything. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on what's going on. You understand? So in case you didn't hear me, guys, I'm going to kind of repeat myself because the entire live stream just shut off because remember, Trump and all these people, they control the internet. They understand my IP address. All they got to do is push a button at the Pentagon and all these other places and kind of interrupt the show. But the show goes on. So let me repeat myself. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. We got to make sure that everybody can hear me. Double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up, guys. They don't want nobody to know this truth. As you can see, anytime I go live, they attack my live stream. Nobody else is experiencing these technical difficulties. Every time I go live to talk about this news, they either pull the plug on the internet, make everything crash out, make everybody leave the live chat, because they don't want you to hear the truth. So I'm going to repeat myself because maybe it did not go over the air. Now, with this alleged attack they claim Iran did on bases, right? Iran has always done stuff like this. This is nothing new. They're trying to make it seem like it's something new to get the American people to desire bloodshed. In other words, I can't believe Iran would dare attack the U.S. And what that does it puts the battery in the United States back to launch a full-out war on Iran. But that's what they always wanted to do. Remember what I told you in my last stream? They need justification to do whatever they got to do. Now, they could do whatever they want regardless. But in the eyes of the American people, it's just the same playbook like when Bush was out there looking for weapons of mass destruction. Same thing. Every day they brainwash the people, brainwash the American people. They put images of terrorists that, we know, those of you that are in the now, you know the whole deal about all that nonsense, right? I'm not even going to go into all of that because YouTube is very finicky about talking about those issues. But I know the truth about 9/11. Most of you know the truth about 9/11. But what I'm saying is they put in our minds terrorists, embedding that in our hearts and our mind that there's a boogeyman out there. And what that did, it made us desire the United States to find bin Laden. They told us he was hiding in a cave somewhere. None of that was true. So what they're doing now is they are making Iran look like, okay, they attacked some military base. Now they want us to believe Iran is going to attack New York or Los Angeles. In my opinion, right, this is my professional expert opinion, based on all of these different things that I've seen been transpiring all this time, is that the United States is going to conduct a false flag terror operation on U.S. soil. And they're going to blame that on Iran. I told you already, something got to happen this summer in one of these major cities so that it can produce a lot of fear, a lot of chaos, so that the United States can really go to war and do what they always wanted to do. Some people have to die regarding this particular situation. That's why I told you guys, don't live in fear, stay prayed up, don't be worrying about these type of things. But at the same time, we still live in the world. We have to report on this particular news. And this is why I'm trying to let you guys understand when they talk about Iran military response against the U.S., this is nothing new. These things have been happening all the time under Bush. You understand? It's just another playbook method to get us to desire war, to desire bloodshed. Because now, here's the thing. If the United States is bombing Iran, you don't expect Iran to retaliate? See, the United States is the big bad wolf, the big bad bully. They shouldn't even be involved in anything concerning Israel. Let Israel fight its own issues. Let it do its own thing. Why we always got to get involved? Because the United States made special deals, special pacts with Israel under the table. And it doesn't benefit the American people. We might think, okay, this is your president, that's the government, our military, we support the troops, all of that. You could be as patriotic as you want. But at the end of the day, these people that are in power, they don't understand this power and they're using it for other dark agendas. Whereas we just want to live our lives, it's not the case. You understand? So again, those of you that are in New York, those of you that are in Los Angeles, and it doesn't matter what state you're in, to be honest, because you don't know where they're going to conduct this false flag operation. I know that's what's coming. And what they're going to do is they're going to blame it on Iran, and then it's going to be an all-out war of chaos, missiles, and bombs dropping everywhere, and people are going to be forced to live in fear, which is something I don't want anybody to get involved in. You're not supposed to live in fear. You're supposed to stay prayed up. You're supposed to be with the Most High. You're supposed to have peace that passes all understanding. At the same time, we live in a chaotic world. If it was up to us, we would want to be in our own little corner and be far away from all of this chaos. But we're living in a land where it's vulnerable to attacks. You understand? And they're going to use these false flag operations to make Iran all of a sudden look like a terror organization. This is what they've been doing all the time. Only in the United States, everybody on the outside are terrorists. You have to be very careful with these words. This is why when it comes to me studying these topics and speaking on these topics, Anybody outside the United States, they always look upon as terrorists. And they make us look at anybody as the boogeyman, as if though they're trying to take away our freedoms. And America needs to protect us from these demons, these entities. And it's not the case. The real truth of the matter is the United States. Listen, people, I know a lot of you are patriotic. I get all of that. But you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. Most of you that are in your 40s and 50s and 60s, you're supposed to know better. You're supposed to know better. Those of you in your 20s and 30s, maybe you don't understand. But a lot of you that are up there in your age, you're supposed to know, based on what's been happening throughout history, that a lot of the stuff you're seeing is like a hoax, man. Again, they gave us the ice wars with the Mexicans. They distracted us with that. They distracted us with the Diddy case. They had all of us asleep. Now, all of a sudden, we have all of this nonsense going on with Iran and Israel. That's none of our business. Why can't the United States just keep its guard on homeland and take care of the problems we got over here? They can't even solve those problems. But they got money for the war. But they got time to bomb places. I'm hearing that these bombs that they were using was like 15,000 pounds or tons or something like that. And they dropped multiple of those bombs down on Iran. Listen, I don't even believe it's as severe as they want you to believe. They're just trying to act as if though they're using muscle to make us believe that nobody could touch the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, when 9/11 took place, what it proved is that the American people are not prepared. They're not prepared for stuff like this. We don't live in these other nations. The people in Iran, the people in all these other places, they see bombs and missiles all the time. The kids, the children are more tougher than your kids. Your kids will go in the house and cry, whereas their kids will grab a gun and be ready to go to war. We're not ready because we've been trained to depend on a government that we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what team they're playing for. You don't know what deals is being made under the table at the cost of the American people. You understand? You will never see a godly man or woman in office in leadership in the United States. You will never see that. When you see politicians going into churches in order to get votes, that's when you know all of those churches that you love and support have been bought and paid for. Every last one of them are with the devil. And it's a serious problem. You know what I mean? So I want you to be aware of what's going on here. I want you to keep track of these plays. Iran is going to be blamed for a false flag terror operation on U.S. soil. I'm telling you, it's going to go down. It has to go down because that is going to give the United States what it needs to wipe out Iran the way they would like to. You understand? Because this war been going on forever. This is nothing new. Israel been battling these people for a long time. This is nothing new. This is over and over and over and over. So they're teaming up to wipe them out completely. You understand? And it's just crazy. That's what's really going on. Now, you're going to have a lot of Americans, right, that are on the wrong side of history. They don't understand what's going on. They're the type of Americans that'll be like, it sounds like you're defending Iran. I'm not defending nobody. I'm reporting the news. That's why you're here. If you don't want to hear the news, you can always choose to leave. It's just that simple. I didn't ask you to be here. You chose to be here, right? So if you don't want to hear the news, you can exit peacefully and just go your way. Or maybe it's you just want a war. Maybe you're a warmonger. Maybe you just like being a big bully. Maybe that's what it is. Like the United States, always butting its nose in everybody else's business and want to drop bombs on people, but don't expect nobody to retaliate. If the United States drop bombs on Iran, you don't expect them to retaliate? You don't expect them to defend their front door? If somebody dropped something on your front door and destroyed your property, you ain't going to get revenge? You ain't going to do what you got to do? You ain't going to launch a sneak attack on them. You're going to do what you got to do. So my point is this. When Trump goes out there and he do these type of things, he's putting the American people at risk every time he do it, because the American people in most cities and states are not armed unless they're in a so-called Second Amendment state. And even in a Second Amendment state, a lot of people are still not armed. And I'm talking about armed to the T, prepared for war and got the training. They don't have none of that. So the people are vulnerable. And with the way we have responded to Hurricane Katrina, with the way we have responded to 9/11, it's very clear that the United States don't even have the resources to even deal with these type of disasters. They don't even deal with it. They don't even know what to do. We've seen so many different natural disasters and various other things happen. Fires, storms. Look what happened in California with the wildfires. Look at the response. Look at the response from the government. Look at the response on how these things were handled. They're not ready for no war. You understand? We act like we're the big bad wolf. We act like we got everything. But I'm telling you, with the way we respond to natural disasters and various other things, they're not ready. And they don't have the resources to help you people. You're literally on your own. That's why I said you got to pray. You got to stay focused on keeping your faith and stay connected to the Most High, because if not, you're going to live in fear. And you have a lot of content creators on YouTube that are trying to backpedal because they've been fear mongering the whole time. You have a lot of content creators that have been literally filling your brain up with war, war, war. They've been desiring war. They've been talking about race wars are coming. They've been talking about how the government is going into this and there's World War III. You have content creators that are still talking about World War III is coming. Why would they want World War III to come? Because these particular content creators are literally crash out dummies who want everybody to die. They want everybody to die. And they believe that when they die, they're going to go to a special place. The only place they're going to go is to the lake of fire, because they've been peddling fear on the people for far too long, wishing death on the American people. I've seen one content creator that said, with what's going on with Iran, Israel, and the United States, bring them great joy, and how they're rejoicing at the fact that all of this stuff is going on. Those are sick individuals, guys. And I suggest you unsubscribe from those type of demons. I've literally seen a content creator say that because of what's going on right now, they are rejoicing at all of the bloodshed, because in their eyes, it makes them feel like the end is near and everything is going to be wrapped up. So women and children dying and the possibility of terror attacks happening in the U.S. brings them great joy. And this is coming from religious people. They're some of the worst. The religious crowd, they're the worst. They're the real secret terror cells that a lot of people don't know about, because they claim they have this belief in God, but really, those are the kind of people that love hating other people, and they love bloodshed, and they hide behind Bibles, Qurans, and various other textbooks in order to project their evil onto people. And it's just something that I cannot deal with, guys. I don't want nobody to be operating in fear. I don't want nobody to be listening to these damn content creators that are filling everybody up with a lot of, anxiety, filling you up with a lot of, thoughts of death. You know, you got people unaliving themselves because of all of this. You got people in New York that are in terror right now. They believe wholeheartedly that a bomb is going to be dropped soon. You know how it go. Anytime they launch these so-called false flag terror operations, they always do it in these major cities. They always do it in the major city where there can be a lot of casualties. This is why, as a people, you got to stop being out and about in these streets, always wanting to go out. I ain't saying don't live your life. I ain't saying live in fear. What I'm saying is, a lot of times, some of you, man, you be out and about in these major cities at these areas far too often. You need to learn how to just chill home, man. Stay home. Because wherever there's a lot of people is most likely where they're going to conduct these attacks, man. I'm telling you, this summer is not looking cool. With what's going on right now, based on the forecast of what I'm seeing, I already warned you yesterday of what's coming. Now look at what happened. I told you this yesterday. Before anything happened, I told you Iran is going to do something. The United States is going to start to prepare for their attack. You see that? And now Trump is literally sitting back preparing for what they're going to do now to Iran because of what Iran did to them. That's what they've been waiting for. That's how bullies work. That's how narcissists work. They do things to provoke you, and when you respond, now you're looking like the bad guy when they were the one that threw stones and hit their hand. And that's what's going on right now.
To breaking news here this morning, Iran has reportedly launched a retaliatory attack on a U.S. airbase in Qatar. Meanwhile, son of the former Shah of Iran says he's ready to take over should Iran's Islamic regime collapse following the U.S. airstrikes on 3 of its nuclear facilities. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkeesian in our newsroom now with the latest developments. Jacqueline, good morning.
Hi, Jess. Good morning to you as well. Yes, we're just getting information about what happened. Missiles were seen over Qatar as Iran targets U.S. forces. However, there is no word yet the extent of the damage as this information is just coming in. Meanwhile, Reza Pahlavi, the former son or the Shah of Iran, says he's not seeking political power, but rather helping the great nation navigate towards stability, freedom, and justice.
This regime is defeated, teetering on the edge of collapse, and must not be allowed to continue. I am here today to submit myself to my compatriots, to lead them down this road of peace and democratic transition. This is our Berlin Wall moment.
Meanwhile, Russia is showing its support for Iran. President Vladimir Putin condemning the attacks as he meets with the foreign minister in Moscow. Putin is also calling out Israel for its actions against Iran, saying, quote, Russia today is on the right side of history and international law. As the conflict between Israel and Iran enters its 11th day, both countries have continued to trade strikes. Earlier today, Israel hit government targets in Tehran in a series of strikes that followed missiles and drones fired by Iran at Israel. This comes in the wake of the Trump administration's massive strikes on 3 of their nuclear sites.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
The president and his administration are calling it Operation Midnight Hammer. It involves 7 B-2 stealth bombers that flew overnight completely undetected using never-before-deployed bunker-busting bombs. The aircrafts took off from an Air Force base in Missouri, and this is video showing the moments they returned yesterday. President Trump thanking the pilots for a job well done. Vice President J.D. Vance stressed Sunday while on Meet the Press that there is still a chance for Iran to engage in talks about its future, saying the attacks created an environment for a reset.
We have to step back a little bit, Kristen, and remind ourselves that we negotiated aggressively with the Iranians to try to find a peaceful settlement to this conflict. It was only when the president decided that the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith that he took this action. Yeah. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually think it provides an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide not to be a threat to its neighbors, not to be a threat to the United States. And if they're willing to do that, the United States is all ears.
As of now, there's been no word yet from Iran's supreme leader, but Iranian military officials and members of parliament are vowing the U.S. will pay a price for its strikes, and we're seeing that now. Tehran also denounced the U.S. and Israel during an emergency UN Security Council meeting. We did hear several hours ago that President Trump is scheduled to meet with the national security team right now in the Oval Office. This comes as major U.S. cities like New York and Los Angeles stepping up security concerns over what Iran might do next. But once again, just getting word, Iran has attacked American forces stationed at the air base in Qatar. We'll have much more on this coming up. Reporting now from the newsroom, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, KTLA 5 News.
Now that all of this is taking place, guys, the next course of action is a false flag terror operation. That's the next course of action. And based on all of the reports, it seems as if though New York and Los Angeles may be a target. Maybe a target. And for the person who was like, pronounce Iran, Iran, I really don't care. You know what I'm talking about. So let's stop being stupid, right? It's always somebody that want to nitpick at somebody that's speaking the truth. But when there's blood on your front porch, I want to see what you're going to pronounce. I want to see how you pronounce words when the blood is on your front step. Because this is not a game. This is not a game. And people literally are taking everything for a joke. Everything is a joke to everybody until the blood is on their front doorstep. I'm literally telling you exactly what's going to happen, right? I warned you yesterday. I told you what was going to come to pass because the Most High is giving me the utterance to speak and warn the people. Number one, you don't live in fear. No fear, right? Number two, we live in this world. We live in this world. So even though I'm telling you not to fear, there still is a potential for you to worry. Worrying is a part of fear. The way you overcome that is by having information that can make you cope with what's going on. For example, if there's a hurricane or a tropical storm or something like that, yes, it can cause damage, but there are certain precautions you can use. There's certain things you can do to kind of get yourself ready mentally so that if something was to go down, it's not going to be a shock. I'm telling you that the United States is going to conduct a false flag terror operation somewhere in the United States. Somebody got to die. Unfortunately, somebody got to die because what they're trying to do is push an agenda. And I've seen this happen many times. I've seen this happen far too much. There's never going to be peace between Israel and anybody. So just forget about that. There will never be peace. Jesus Christ made it very clear that these wars will continue to go. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There will never be peace. They want other nations to bow their knee and submit to their rulership. The United States is a big bully. You understand? If you got a military that can wipe out another nation and you're exercising your power, you're the bully. That's no different than a guy that weigh 130 pounds and you got some dude, he's at 210, talking about, yeah, what he gonna do to him. Dude, you're at 210. This dude is $130. You'll destroy this dude. Why are you bullying him for? Deal with somebody your own size. So when you see how the United States move with their military, if they know they can damage Iran, whatever the hell you want to call that place, they're being the bully. They're the ones that's literally bullying people into submission. In other words, hey, you messing with Israel, we're going to do this to you. Why the United States is getting involved? Why the United States have time to get involved with what Israel got going on with these people, but the United States can't solve the problems right here? The American people are fed up with this BS, where every time the U.S. is going to war with somebody else, but we can't even solve the problems that we're facing here. What about the war on crime in the United States? What about all of the crimes that's going on? What about everything that's happening here that the government can't fix? But we got time to fix everybody else's problem. I'm tired of seeing that. I am tired of seeing news reports of America doing this and sending money and millions and trillions of dollars to every other nation to help them with whatever they got. But we got all these poor people on the street. We got all this inflation. We got all these problems. Nothing's being solved. So what they do is they go to war to act like we're doing work. And that's what make these presidents look like they're doing their job by going to war, because it's all one big distraction. No, what is Trump doing about all the issues going on in the United States? That's the real war. That's the war we're in right now. We're at war right here with inflation, with taxes, with gas prices going up, food prices going up, rent, mortgage, everything going up. The American people are literally struggling to get by. You got people leaving the United States because they can't even survive because the cost of living is crazy. You got people literally hanging on threads right now, don't even know where they're going to get their next meal from. You think we give a crap about some damn war going on? You have a war going on in your own community. You have a war going on in your own house right now. You warring every time you go to work. Every time you drive to work, you got to think about, do I put gas in my car or do I pay my light bill? Do I pay my electric bill or do I pay my gas bill? Do I pay my mortgage, my rent, or my car insurance? Try owning a car in New York. Talk to me about your insurance in New York. That's the war the American people is facing. They're not making things better for the American people. Them going to war is not protecting us. The United States do these things to cause more bloodshed in the United States, to further their agenda, their satanic agenda. Do you understand me? All of this have to do with the mark of the beast, the New World Order, man. That's what all of this is a play about. But they're going to tell you, oh, you know, we're just defending this and we're doing that. No, man. I'm tired of all of this garbage, bro. All these distractions. None of this mess is helping the American people. You know, it's being really patriotic, man, when you're really focused on the American people and empowering the people. This ain't empowering us. This is causing more bloodshed, more fear, more terror. And most of you so-called American citizens that jump on the bandwagon with Trump and all this war, you on the wrong side of history. Because while you standing there being overly patriotic, you don't realize that this can be very detrimental to the American people, because somebody's going to die behind this. Somebody's going to really suffer behind this so-called alleged war that y'all keep pushing as World War III. It's like y'all just want everybody to go to war. Y'all live here. And when those bombs start being sent all over the United States in cities where it's populated by a bunch of people trying to live their lives, I want to see how all of y'all feel. I want to see how everybody look when y'all looking up and you seeing those missiles come down. You better blame your president, because Kamala Harris clearly warned you. Kamala Harris said that in a video clip. Let me see if I got that video. I don't know if I still got it. Let me see if I have it here.
If this president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran, the consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic. Wow. In terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would be sent and deployed into something that was completely avoidable. In a Harris administration, we wouldn't have gotten ourselves into this mess. I have good reason, based on everything we know publicly, to suspect and to be concerned that his motivation is more out of self-interest than it is the interest of the American people. You know, I'm traveling our country and meeting with the families who are sending their sons and daughters to these endless wars. And this president better take very seriously any threat that he makes to enter us into another war and send our young men and women into battle.
You see that, guys? You see what she's saying? She literally proclaimed this a while back, and now everything is coming to pass as she said. And this is what Trump is doing.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
Now think about this. As a commander-in-chief, your job to the American people is not to be putting them in harm's way, right? What you hear Trump talking about here is not a president that is trying to keep peace. This is a president that wants to go to war, that want to use all that military power. They're itching to use that force because that's the agenda. And that's why presidents are selected, not elected, selected. And when you put people in power that literally are able to press these buttons, it can now cause a lot of bloodshed all over the world. You know what I mean? And to the troll that keeps saying that I'm bugging, what are you doing for the American people? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing? What are you here for? Why are you even here? You don't got nothing else to do with your life? You're busy watching me telling me I'm bugging when there's about to be a false flag terror operation on U.S. soil. What are you doing for the American people? Are you warning them? Are you waking them up? You know? Are you warning these people? Are you giving them a message to give them hope? What are you doing? You ain't doing nothing but being a damn spectator. But when those missiles hit your house and your family is dead, I want to see who's bugging. Because it always be the scoffers that talk the most. And when the missiles come, they be the ones crying. They be the ones literally on social media like, oh, I don't know why this is happening, man. I don't know why. Holding their baby in their hand, crying while their baby is in pieces. It be you kind of people that do that. Always want to scoff. Always want to tell somebody what they're doing, but you ain't doing a damn thing to help nobody. Where's your microphone? What warnings are you giving to people? What direction are you giving to people? Are you with the Most High? Are you keeping the commandments? Are you living a righteous life? Are you teaching the people to pray? Are you teaching the people to mobilize and not live in fear? You're not doing that. You know why? Because you're of the Antichrist. You're of your father, the devil. That's who you're of. No solutions whatsoever. Just pure nonsense. And this is the problem with society in America. You have a lot of people that are crash dummies who don't have no clue what's going on. They just going with the flow. I told you guys that Iran is going to strike, and now they're saying they did. So what do you think the United States is about to do? The United States is about to strike. And guess what Iran is going to do now? Drop those bombs. And then the United States is going to be forced to wipe them out. Everything is going to come to pass, guys. So while everybody's having a great old time, thinking everything is sweet, thinking everything is cool, and laughing and giggling, be prepared for those missiles. Be prepared. You know? I ain't saying live in fear. What I'm saying is keep your mind and your eyes open to what's going on. Keep your eyes open. Don't be dumb. Keep those eyes open. Because all of this is designed to put a lot of fear in people. And people will misconstrue what I'm saying as if though I'm trying to promote fear. I'm trying to warn you of what's going on. You understand? I told you yesterday, Iran is going to launch an attack, and then the United States is going to respond. Trump is right now preparing for an all-out launch on them for what they did. And that is going to push Iran to pretty much do what they got to do. And it's going to affect one of these major cities. But here's the thing. In my opinion, even though they have a right to defend themselves, because the United States is a big bully at the end of the day, I really believe that it's the United States that's going to launch a false flag operation. I really believe it. And Iran is going to pretty much denounce it. They're going to be like, it wasn't us. How many times have we seen this? How many times have we seen terror operations and they blamed it on somebody? They blamed it on someone in the Middle East. And whoever they blamed got on Al Jazeera or whatever broadcast network, and they were like, we didn't do that. We don't take no responsibility for that. That wasn't us. But the United States still attacked them. because it wasn't them. It was a false flag operation. That's what they do. You know? That's what they do. They launch these false flag terror operations. And it could be something small. It could be something at an arena that might happen soon. It could be anywhere. Think of all the places in Los Angeles, all the major areas in New York, where a lot of people congregate. You know what I mean? That's why every time it's New Year's and you live in New York, I always tell people, hey, don't go to Times Square. Stay away from Times Square, man. Stay away from Times Square. Because if they launch an attack on Times Square, man, it's going to be this. Yeah, man, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, guys. You know? Shout out to Brainwaves for the support. Says, just got done with my live on this. We need as many righteous content creators speaking real on this topic as possible. This is real and not a game. Thanks again, bro. Appreciate you supporting the show. Be sure to subscribe to Brainwaves. Brainwaves is another content creator covering the stories regarding these issues. Be sure to subscribe to his channel as well as Floridine Rollo's YouTube channel. This is not a game, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that you really got to be careful with all of this ordeal, because I know a lot of you tune into these broadcasts and a lot of you may be going through a lot of anxiety. We don't want you to live in fear. Fear is something that they want all of us to have. When 9/11 happened, I was there, guys. I was there. I saw it. And like I said, guys, I could go through a lot of details on what really happened. I know the truth. But if I do that, I won't have a YouTube channel no more. Do you get it? The powers that be will get rid of me. Because I know the truth. You can't even talk about it on social media. That's how crazy it is. You can't even talk about it on social media. You got somebody asking, what is false flag? Are you in America? Because if you're in America and you don't know what a false flag operation is, then you didn't graduate high school. Something wrong with you. Just to ask that question, something's wrong with you. Right? But I was there, guys, when 9/11 took place, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, they say that they're protecting us from enemies, both foreign and domestic. They didn't do that on that day. And it wasn't foreign. It was domestic. Just like how when you have domestic violence, that's what took place, guys. I was there. I saw in my own eyes, and I'm telling you, everything that happened, I don't believe nothing the news media say, because I was there. And I made a ton of videos about that situation. Everybody had to take their videos down from social media. A lot of people got banned and terminated because we were putting out the truth. We were putting the truth out there to wake the people up. And every time you put out the truth, they try to cancel you. That's why I always tell you guys, double tap the screen, give the video a like. A lot of y'all be pulling up, but y'all don't support the show. So it's like the people that really put out the truth, we don't get the support. We don't get the support of the people, man. That's what I'm saying. Imagine you an American and I'm putting out this truth and you don't even double tap the screen to give it a like so that the video can get pushed through the algorithm so more people can get this message. And you wondering why? Because the news media is not going to give you anything. The news media is not going to give you no hope, no information to help your situation. Shout out to, I believe that's Yoshi Hardwick. Shout out to you for the support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. It's very important that you get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. When I say double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up, I am not saying that because I just like seeing likes. It's not about that. The way YouTube work, the way all of social media work, when you click the like button, it signals the algorithm that people are enjoying the video. So what the algorithm does, it opens up and it starts to distribute that video to more viewers that are searching for content. You get it? That's all that does. When you don't click the like button, you're telling YouTube, this video is garbage. We don't like that content creator. He's not good. Forget about him. Put him in the shadow ban area. And then the platform suffers because of that. You know? But guys, this is really, really serious. I'm going to have more updates regarding this situation because I'm telling you something is going down. Something is going down and it's kind of quiet right now. You know, like how when you just feel like something's going on? Something's going on. That's why I had to get out of New York. That's one of the reasons why I had to get out of New York. Because I just didn't like what was going on, man. I'm telling you, it was too many different terror attacks kept happening. And it seemed like they were all happening in New York. Not only that, different experiments was happening in New York concerning the pandemic. That was another experiment that was done on American people. And New York was the main testing ground. That was ground zero for the pandemic. You know what I mean? And I decided, hey, I'm not taking no shot. They was like, well, if you don't take the shot, you're going to lose your job. And I had a awesome career, guys, that I worked very hard for. Taking all types of civil service exams. I got all sorts of certifications, plaques on my wall. Man, I mean, you name it, I had to go and I got so much training. And they took that career away from me because I didn't take a shot. Now, you think about that. What was in that shot that they wanted me to take? Nope, you're not doing that to me. God told me straight, don't do it. Now, there was a time I was feeling kind of vulnerable, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should take it, man, because, you know, I got to provide for my fam. I got to do this. A man supposed to sacrifice, right? Most High said, don't do it. If you do it, you're going to die. The Most High told me if I would have took it, I would have died, bro. And now today, a lot of my former co-workers is dead, and a lot of them have certain health issues right now. They have a lot of health issues, and some of them didn't make it because they chose the potion over their own life. You know, some of the guys that got fired, we stuck together. We were out. We had our own little support base where we would come together and talk. You know, and the thing is, we tried to get exemption letters. We did all of that type of stuff, guys. We had all the documentation to be exempt. They denied all of our exemption letters. All of these exemption letters were documented, legit. They denied everything. They said, no, you need to take the shot. I was like, yo, I got a letter clearly stating. They said, no, we don't accept that. Take the shot. Take it. Then when they got rid of us, right? I was out of work for about 6 months. 6 months, 7 months mostly. They sent a letter in the mail. Hey, we just want to give you guys another opportunity to come back. We really need workers. They were struggling, bro. that company is suffering without us, bro. The knowledge that I got, I was helping that company make millions of dollars, man. They need people like me. They sent me a letter saying, come on back. But if you come back, you got to still take the shot. But you don't got to take 2. You could just take 1 dose. Yo, because I think you had to take about three shots in order for you to come back. They told me in the letter, you don't got to take 3, just take 1. Yo, they so want me to take the shot, bro. They said you don't got to take all of them. Just have 1 dose in your blood. I said, hell no. Nope. I'm not doing it. Who cares if you said hi? Like, what's the matter with these people? You come into a live stream, you talking about I said hi. So what? So let me get this straight. All these people that's in this live chat saying hi, I'm supposed to stop to say hi to you? Do I know you? What's the matter with these people? The entitlement is ridiculous, fam. You're in a live stream. Nobody knows you. People be weird, bro. Like, they come into the live stream, I said hi. Like I'm reading the live chat. Weird, bro. Absolutely weird. It's crazy. But yeah, man, they wanted me to come on back, bro. I said, nah, bro, I'm done. So from then, I knew something was going on in New York. And the air quality in New York is bad, man. The air quality is bad. I couldn't produce content. I couldn't breathe. I didn't feel good. I had to get out, bro. I had to get out. I just didn't feel safe in New York, man. Too much was going on. New York is moving too fast. So now, with all the rumors going on now, they're talking about they're going to be dropping bombs on New York and possibly Los Angeles. I don't know, bro. But then again, it could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just like, okay, New York is the only place. The whole point is it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like, nah. It's the testing ground for a lot of drama. A lot of things that go on in the world, they're going to always go to New York first. New York is going to get the first dibs of all attacks and everything else, man. You know? That's just the way it is, man. Let me see. It's always the trolls that get blocked for saying stupid stuff, and they stay watching me all day. It's crazy. Like, some of you trolls, I don't understand you guys. Like, you say that I'm complaining about hitting the like button all day. This is social media. This is a business. This is what I do. Just like when you go to your job, you expect people to do certain things that help your job, right? If you're a waitress, if you're a cook at a restaurant, if you're a waiter, are you telling me you wouldn't want people to give you tips? You wouldn't want people to support what you do? It's ironic to me how people have no consideration for what other people do. You can go to your job and expect everybody to make sure they support what you do. But if I tell people to hit the like button, you complain like it's a bad thing, like I'm not supposed to be doing those things. That's what helps the bottom line of the platform. Just like when you go to your job, let's say you're a police officer. The taxpayer dollars is what's putting food on your table. The American people taxes is what's helping you to get a paycheck. So they're supporting you every time you go to work. You see that? So what makes you so much better than me? This is what I don't like about people, is that they can be so cruel and so wicked that they just don't have no consideration for nobody else. You know? For example, if you're a cab service or whatever the case is, and you had to drop off a family, because I do this. I do this particular thing, not a cab service, but I'm saying, like, let's say, for example, let's say if my family is coming in, let's say they went on vacation or they went to New York or whatever the case is, and they coming back, cab service be like damn near probably $90 to get over here. Even though I got to spend $90 for the cab service, when the driver shows up, I still give him a tip of a certain amount of money, and I tell him, hey, put this towards gas. That's me being considerate of the fact that even though it's $90 for the service, here's a few dollars to go towards your gas. You see what I mean? Because you drove a long way. That helps him and his family, because he got to put gas in the car. He's using his personal vehicle. You see what I mean? So a lot of times people don't understand those little things. So when I say click the like button, it don't cost you not $1 to do that. It don't cost you no money to click the like button. It's not expensive, but you're acting as though it costs you money. Sick, bro. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get up on out of here, man. Yeah, a lot of people are inherently evil, and I've been saying that for a long time. They just don't want to support nothing you do, but they watch you. Imagine that person watch my platform, but complains about me. It's sick. Anyway, guys, if you like the show, double tap the screen. Double tap to give it a thumbs up. Shout out to those that support it. Ed with the $1.99. You have Yoshi with another $1.99. And you have Sid with the membership. Appreciate you sponsoring the work. You know what I mean? Any amount counts, even if it's 99 cents, doesn't matter. Because some people will complain, all you going to donate is 99 cents? I ain't making no money with no 99 cents. Yeah, if 80,000 people watching the live super chatted 99 cents, I bet you wouldn't be complaining. You wouldn't be complaining about that. Them 99 cents will add up. So be thankful. So I'm going to catch y'all later on with more content. Y'all be safe out there. It is what it is. Rate, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, because YouTube be playing games with the subscriptions. They don't be sending out the notifications to you guys. So sometimes you got to literally come on YouTube to see if I'm live. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So it is what it is. Make sure you also subscribe to the brothers, Floridine Rollo and Brainwaves Advice Topics LLC. Make sure you subscribe to their channels as well. Help them to grow as well. And that's about it, guys. Make sure you drive safe when you're on the road. Have a blessed day. Be at peace. And it is what it is. We out of here, y'all. Y'all stay safe. We out. Peace.